Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. This is Straightforward with Ms.B, episode 77. Grab your vices, chill, relax, do what you got to do to sit back and enjoy this particular episode. As we always do, get straight to it, that is. Hi, everybody. I know you guys have missed me. It has been almost a month since the previous episode was published. Yeah, I've been having a lot going on in my personal life, as I have discussed many times in the past in regards to having a grandmother with dementia. Um, just so you know, not to put you guys too far into my personal business, but her health has been declining a little bit. So we have been trying to, you know, deal with that. So regrettably, I have had to just kind of take a couple of weeks off, just to just make sure my own mental is good to go. I don't want to be doing an episode and, unfortunately, be sounding sad and just kind of, under the weather type of thing. I definitely want to bring you guys very upbeat energy on the podcast. So I rather just stay away, take care of my own personal business, and then, come back. But I didn't want to be gone too long. In between episodes. So I said, why not come on today? Because during these weeks, there has been quite a few things that has been happening, that is worth definitely speaking about. One of the major things, and I'll go straight into this, one of the major things that I wanted to talk about today. Of course, many of you know that I am a huge hip hop fan. That is my favorite genre of music. And yes, I have been following the whole battle royale situation that has been happening with Drake and J. Cole and Rick Ross and Kendrick Lamar. There has been so much going on. So, as many of you know, it kind of kicked off with Kendrick Lamar. He was featured on Metro Boomin and Future's song "I Like That," which was on this first album that they had released. It was called "We Don't Trust You." And on that song, Kendrick Lamar, definitely had a few things to say. He threw a few jabs at Drake and J. Cole, basically saying, hey, you guys are always talking about the big three, meaning the big three MCs of hip hop, I guess, for this, excuse me, for this generation. And it's always, that discussion, whether it's in the barbershops, hanging on the corner, you know what I'm saying? Backyard barbecue discussions with your friends and family. Who is MCs or rappers that are very popular and, of course, come with that, lyrical skill set. And many people believe that it's Kendrick Lamar, in no particular order: Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. However, on this song during his feature, Kendrick basically is like, hey, fuck a big three. Ain't no big three. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? So with him basically spazzing out like that on the record, of course, Drake, J. Cole, I'm sure probably got in their feelings, of course, because, as many of you who follow hip hop know that, there has been kind of like these little subliminal jabs thrown here and there throughout the years. Um, I believe Drake has also been quoted as saying that, he's kind of waited a very long time for this to happen, especially between him and Kendrick. Because of the, like I said, the kind of low key back and forth these two have been, going against each other. So it was a long time coming. So it's like now, once Kendrick released, released his disc, and it blew up, and everybody, applauding Kendrick. Of course, Drake himself just kind of came back, with a diss track himself, and he got into some things in his diss track. However, J. Cole, he held his annual festival in North Carolina, but during the festival, he got on stage and he basically kind of bowed out. He did not want to be a part of this beef. You know what I'm saying? So he apologized to Kendrick and apologized to Drake, and he just gracefully bowed out. Now, many people just kind of had, mixed feelings in regards to J. Cole. Hip hop was basically brought up, and created around just beef. The whole, idea behind rap beef is like you sparring against each other. You taking your mind to develop and create lyrics that are supposed to embarrass or be scathing against your opponent. We have heard many beasts throughout. The Tupac and Biggie, both of them kind of dissed each other on wax. Nas and Jay-Z dissed each other on wax. So this rap beef is nothing new. It adds on to the excitement of hip hop. Yes, the excitement of hip hop, and it gives especially us the fans, you know like I said, it gives us a time to just kind of celebrate our favorite MCs. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, it gives the rappers themselves the opportunity to truly showcase their skills, especially when going against the op. You know what I mean? So it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that J. Cole, someone who supposedly, supposedly loves hip hop, and you know what I mean, and is tried and true to to his craft. It's just unfortunate to see that he bowed out. Like, of course, we don't think that this hip hop beef between all three of these fellas will take a true negative turn, meaning like someone gets hurt, it becomes violent and things of that nature. No, we see it as um people just, of course, like I said, stating the most embarrassing things about the other person, but doing it on record. That's all that, hip hop fans see it as. So according to J. Cole, he feel as though his whole, this whole negativity just kind of affected his spirit and his mental, and he's basically, not in that mental space. And these are not don't quote me. Don't quote me. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. But yeah, he just kind of bowed out of this situation, and it was sad to see, especially to the J. Cole fans out there. So if we're just left with Drake against Kendrick, okay, so Drake then comes out with this initial diss track. Many people thought that it was AI initially, and then but it wasn't AI. It ended up just being an unmastered track, and then eventually he released, the mastered version, which of course sounded so much better to the ears. So of course Drake did his thing. Um, Drake did his thing on the record, and the opportunity, of course, not only kind of dissing Kendrick, he brought up Kendrick's wife name in there. He threw a little jabs at Future, Metro Boomin, and Rick Ross. And then after that was released, Rick Ross kind of came back with Rick Ross came back with, his own record called, I believe it was called Champagne Moments. And he took the opportunity to do his Rick Ross thing. He has the cinematic type beats that he enjoys rapping over. And at the end of the rap, he has like this spoken word piece at the end of the record where he talks about Drake allegedly getting a nose job, as well as some fake abs put in, BBL, as he say, BBL Drizzy. He also talked about the fact that Drake sent a cease and desist letter to French Montana's camp before French could, release his latest album, the Mac and Cheese album. And he felt as though for Drake to do that, that's he playing police games there. So, Rick people was kind of surprised at what Rick Ross had to say, and so of course, people have been kind of cracking jokes and things of that nature. And then Drake released another track that end up taking he ended up using AI this time with Tupac Shakur, his voice and likeness, as well as Snoop Dogg voice as AI as well. So both of them kind of had like two verses on this latest record. Now, what's happening now, the backlash he's getting from that is that the person that owns the Tupac Shakur estate is threatening to take legal action against Drake. I don't know how that will work per se, because that particular record that Drake released, he did not put it on like DSPs or anything like that. So it's not like he's making money off of it. So there's nothing, I guess, financially to kind of gain from it at this point. But I do understand how, you know, these people that, especially like icons like Tupac Shakur that has passed away, and people who are in charge of their, these celebrity estates and everything, they want to protect that celebrity's likeness in every facet. You know what I'm saying? So I do understand, like, hey, you can't just decide to use Tupac's voice and put it on your record. No, sir, it's not gonna work like that. Um, so yeah, so there could be some type of legal ramifications for Drake coming in the near future in regards to that. But hey, I'm definitely gonna sit around and see. But how do you guys feel just overall so far? What's been happening? I feel like they need to spice this shit back up. It has been approximately what 11 days now since Drake released these songs, and Kendrick has yet to respond to them. Everybody is wondering when Kendrick is going to respond. Word on the curb is that, hey, you know, Kendrick want to utilize that time to push out a new album. So I don't know if that's the reason why we're waiting. Maybe whenever this disc come, it's going to be part of a new project he's putting out. But again, I feel as though for rappers who definitely have a deep love for hip hop should understand, hey, when it comes to rap beefs, it is imperative that, hey, you just be ready at all times. That's just how I feel. You should be ready at all times for whatever may happen, meaning that you need to be able to go in the booth within 24, 48 hours, put a song together and put it out. It shouldn't take 11 days. It shouldn't take 1 month. It shouldn't take 6 months for you to put a diss record out on somebody. So I don't know. I know Drake is, basically sitting around twiddling his thumbs. He's just waiting for Kendrick to respond. Hey, Drake, you have now finished your tour. You might as well go on vacation, relax, and do what it is that you're going to do, that you said you wanted to do after your touring was over. Take some time for yourself, because who's to say when Kendrick is going to drop. So it is what it is. Moving right along. So we're talking about battles. There has been this ongoing battle between the government and TikTok. There has been there was been rumbling since last year that the U.S. government wanted to ban the popular social media app TikTok. As many people know, TikTok is a Chinese company. It's owned and operated in China, and just because of threats of stealing U.S. citizens' personal data, collecting data. The U.S. is like, hey, this is too much. This is too much control that the Chinese have over Americans, and it is definitely a threat that we should pay attention to and take serious. So just looking at this article from BBC with this headline, TikTok vows to fight the unconstitutional U.S. ban. This was published on yesterday. Looks like written by Tom Gherkin and Tom Singleton for the BBC. It says TikTok says it's going to challenge in court an unconstitutional law that could result in it being sold or banned in the U.S. President Biden has signed into law a bill which gives the social media platform's Chinese owner, ByteDance, 9 months to divest the app or it will be blocked in the U.S. So divest meaning to sell the app. Sell the app to, I'm assuming, to an American business or company. The law has been introduced because of concerns TikTok might share user data with the Chinese government, which is a claim that TikTok has always denied. A spokesperson for TikTok, actually the CEO, Shu Zishu Chu, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He stated, "We are confident and we will keep fighting for your rights in the courts. The facts and the Constitution are on our side. Rest assured, we are not going anywhere." This was stated by the CEO in a video posted on TikTok. He basically lambasted the bill and called for people to share their stories of how TikTok had improved their lives. He says, "Make no mistake, this is a ban on TikTok and a ban on you and your voice." In a separate statement, TikTok added that it believed the facts and the law were clearly on its side. "The fact is, we have invested billions of dollars to keep U.S. data safe and our platform free from outside influence and manipulation," it said. The measure was passed as part of a package of 4 bills, which also included military aid for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and other U.S. partners in the Indo-Pacific region. It had widespread support from lawmakers, with 79 senators voting for it and 18 against it. Senator Marco Rubio stated, "For years, we've allowed the Chinese Communist Party to control one of the most popular apps in America. That was dangerously short-sighted. A new law is going to require its Chinese owner to sell the app. This is a good move for America." Experts have told the BBC the bill is a big deal, but have warned it faces multiple hurdles. It says it could take several years before the app is blocked as legal action. Likely all the way to the Supreme Court would delay the process. In November, a U.S. federal judge in Montana blocked an effort to ban TikTok within the state. The popularity of the app with young Americans could also be problematic. It says about 2 in 3 young people in the U.S. have a TikTok account. stated Andrew Pris- Przybylski, professor of human behavior and technology at Oxford University. He goes on to say the primary challenge is going to be on freedom of speech and freedom of expression. The UN Charter on the rights of the child is quite specific. Young people have a right to information and right to play. So I think it can be challenged on those grounds. Jennifer Huddleston from the Cato Institute in Washington said any sale might be delayed because of the considerable regulatory scrutiny it will attract. 9 months is a rather quick time frame for the size of a transaction. It's something that is likely to have further regulatory scrutiny, even without the requirements in this proposal, she stated. The question remains, what does it mean to even sell TikTok in the US? Is that truly possible? And what would a buyer look like? Exactly. Who would be able to buy and operate it is also a big question. The price would likely be in the tens of billions of dollars, meaning there will be few potential buyers. And that's kind of like the question that I was thinking too. Like, if the US government is going to force TikTok to sell itself to someone or ByteDance to sell their app to someone, it is definitely going to cost a lot of money because TikTok generates a whole lot of money. The shopping experience, user experience on TikTok explode. I swear it exploded. Like since COVID, it definitely exploded the online shopping experience. People selling their own products, companies selling their products. Like I have never really seen nothing like it. Like Instagram and also Facebook had their own kind of shopping platform on their apps. But honestly, like for me personally, I've never checked it. Like I don't go like on Instagram, you can click on the little shopping part, but I never really check on the shopping part on Instagram. I've never shopped period on social media apps. I usually shop online, but I go to the direct website and on the browser to definitely shop, shop for whatever it is that I'm looking for. But I've never utilized like shopping through the social media apps. But there is definitely a very, very stark difference between how Instagram does it and how TikTok does it. TikTok definitely, every time you scroll and the algorithm that they have, it's like you click on something that you like or you want to purchase for your household, whether it's a vacuum or some type of cleaning product. You click on one thing and then you continuously see that same product, or you might see other people showing you how they use it in their houses and think you just TikTok has an algorithm that is top notch. I mean, top notch. And another thing that I've kind of heard on the curb is that with TikTok, if they do end up selling it to an American buyer or whoever the buyer may be, they may plan to even take away or extract the algorithm component of the app. And I feel as though the algorithm part is basically the secret sauce to their app. So why would someone who a potential buyer be interested in buying it if it doesn't come with the algorithm, algorithm part of it as well? That technology part. And also, I heard that if they do sell it, they want to sell it to someone, a buyer that's not even in the technology space. And I think that's where China kind of, you got may have to kind of give them the side eye a little bit, because it's like, why would you even want to take away the algorithm, and then you don't want people in technology to buy it? Because are you afraid that, the buyer may find out, oh, this is how they've been clocking people's data, and you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Is that what the issue is? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's my feelings on it. Do I care personally if they take away the app? No, because like I said, even though the algorithm function, the shopping function isn't as good as TikTok's, there's always Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Facebook. So there's other apps for us to utilize for that. You have YouTube. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's one less app we have to keep up with. That's how I feel. But do I like TikTok? Yes. I feel as though TikTok has a different type of culture from the other apps. It's very kind of like, what you see is what you get. You don't really see you see people in their natural state most times. You see a lot of funny videos and memes, and people just seems as though they are enjoying themselves, rather like, you know Instagram, you got to see people living out their means, pretending to be somebody that they're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a different culture on TikTok. And if they do end up, completely banning the app, then yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of sad to see it go. I wouldn't miss it per se, but I do enjoy it while, we do have the opportunity, um, you know, to use it. Let's see. There was anything else I wanted to talk about. I know that, the whole Diddy situation, that's kind of been on the quiet a little bit this past week or two. We see Diddy, he's been out and about, trying to live his life as normal as he possibly can. We did hear about another lawsuit, but this time this was against, a lawsuit filed against his son, for, a potential sexual assault type of situation. Um, Carisha still trying to do her thing. She has been trying to focus, I guess, on music. However, there's a silent battle, seems as though, between her and her um excuse me, her rap sister JT. Those two basically formed the group City Girls, which is signed to QC. But a week ago we did see it kind of come to a head a little bit on Twitter, where the two girls were kind of going back and forth. You see, JT has been kind of releasing some hot singles lately, to do her own solo thing. She did announce her album is going to be called City Cinderella. I believe this week she released, or will be releasing, a new song called Okay. I like it. I'm a Jeezy fan. It got that throwback Jeezy early 2000s feel to it. She's been making her rounds, going club to club, just, doing her solo thing, and it seems as though people are here for it. JT, to many people, have always kind of been the person who was a little bit more lyrical out of the two girls. Um, she seems a little bit more passionate about rapping than Carisha. A lot of people tend to feel as though Carisha maybe got into rapping because of, hey, this is a way for popularity. This is a way for me to increase my income, because I have kids I have to take care of, just be able to support her and her family. But the passion for the music, even though she was out there um, working as far as like doing the concerts, the shows, music videos in the studio and things like that. I guess just how she kind of comes across, like in interviews and things like that, people just didn't feel as though she was as passionate, I guess, about it. I don't know. My opinion in regards to that, I always kind of wish everybody well, especially in their careers and how they choose to make a living. I don't really care what a person does for a living. But sometimes when you choose certain things like art, you know what I'm saying? For instance, being a musician, usually creative people have passion for those things. We do oftentimes see people who just kind of get in it for whatever reason. Like I said, for clout, or they just do it because of a check. Um, and over time, you tend to see, hey, the universe has its ways. The universe will slowly just kind of push you out of that realm, because the universe knows that, hey, your passion does not lie there. But it's good to see that, with the fame and everything, Carisha has been able to, she did her do a little podcast thing that was on Revolt. We don't know if that's gonna come back at some point, since since Diddy has allegedly sold Revolt to someone now, to another businessman. So we don't know if Carisha Please is gonna come back, but she was doing pretty good with that. As well as she has her own merchandise, her board game as well. I guess she does pretty good with that. So I wish those ladies well. I am looking forward to the JT project. I do think that, hey, JT, she can rap. She might, to me, might be one of the best female rappers to ever come out of Miami, which is good for the city. Her boyfriend is Little Uzi Vert, who is a rapper slash, rock star. For anybody who don't know who he is, he's from Philadelphia. He's pretty creative. He has lyrics as well. He know how to make songs. So, she has someone to, bounce ideas off of as well. And I'm sure he's not gonna allow her to kind of put out a project. Not saying that he manages her, but just as a supportive partner who's also a creative and a rapper. I'm sure he's gonna, give her some pointers here and there and whatnot. And hopefully it's going to be a great project for JT. But we will see. Um, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. So shout out to them. Outside of that, everything else has been craziness upon craziness. I believe, Trump is going through his trial situation. Harvey Weinstein, I believe one of his charges, was overturned this morning. So it's just a whole lot of going on, but thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I wanted to quickly pop in to discuss a few things because I've been gone for almost a month, but I will be back. And thank you for always listening. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I thank you. My YouTube views are definitely going up. I appreciate you all. Definitely remember to subscribe to not only the podcast channel, but as well, which is on all Spotify, Apple. You can find us everywhere, as well as YouTube. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel also. Yeah. So Straightforward with Ms.B. checking out once again. Well, signing out. And until next time, peace out.